this is how fucked up the world is in a great way. Like, I met a bass player via an advert he put up in our local music shop. We replied to it, he came and did an audition, we were blown away by his bass playing abilities. We spend the next couple of years, he meets Matt, our drummer. Our drummer Matt introduced him to a guy called Jay, who was a guitarist. Jay ended up going on to manage Jake Bugg, and Jake remembered from my band via my introduction what an amazing bass player he was, and he's now Jake Bugg's bass player. And likewise, the drummer in our band knew a friend of mine who was the manager of Laura Marling. I introduced him, and then he became Laura Marling's drummer, and he's now Tom Odell's drummer. It's like, it's incredible how literally from boom, 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 just like put an advert out there, put yourself out there, cross your fingers, and you never know what can develop. So, yeah.
Well, it's quite funny when we were talking about on a similar advert thing. I put on, so the very first Bloc Party gig, they were called the Angel Range, and because no one cared about them, I put them like first on with my band and 2 other bands who were better. And we like did the first gig, it was a disaster, hardly anyone turned up, except for Toby, who turned up because he...
With my dad?
Yeah. he and his dad had seen this advert in the back of the NME, which was Kelly auditioning because they got through so many drummers before they got
like
Matt.
Spinal Tap.
It was ridiculous. I think 14 drummers before Matt, and he was advertising for another drummer. And he was like influences, I can't remember, was it
Cure, Joy Division, Pixies, Gang of Four, yeah.
And like Toby's dad was like, oh, that sounds like your kind of thing. He was like, oh yeah, cool. So he like called him up and said, oh yeah, we've got our first gig, you should come down. And like,
that was a gig that Tim was promoting, and that was 2 years before we ended up meeting each other properly.
And that was before everyone was saying like Gang of Four, The Cure as their influences, so it was like refreshing at the time.
So yeah, I think finding like-minded people is important. Like, you know, there might, as I say, be musicians here tonight who are like, you know what, I'm in a band, it's kind of shit, I want to make a really good one. You know, and you might meet them, and you know, and who knows? And that's the thing, it's about...
I'd say get amazing at the bass is like another thing, like playing with other people and also playing alone as well, because like becoming...
You played
really
with yourself a lot, didn't you?
That's what I was avoiding, and I knew. So yeah, because I mean the thing is, it's like, you know, great. There's lots of kind of average musicians who kind of like flirt with the idea and things, but becoming a really great one is what matters. And it's like I'll never forget when Foals had their first Say No session. He was just like totally overwhelmed by the fact he was just like listening in, because they sort of, it's in a different studio, but he hears what they're doing before they're playing, and they were just like messing around, just jamming. He's like, oh, what's that song? It's amazing. Like, oh, we're just messing around. And he was like, what? So you can just start playing? And he was just like overwhelmed by the fact that they could just play together and make great sounding music straight away. And it's because they've been playing together as a gang and living together and like living it and just obsessing over music and practicing like mental for years and years and years, so that they had a whole kind of language that they could lock into at any point. And that is really rare. Like the bands that can do that are the ones that are really special, I would say, and that's kind of what we look for above everything really, that kind of like chemistry and dedication. So.